Welcome to Real Herbalism Radio, show 165, recorded at River Road Studios. Today's show is brought to you by Get Healthy Now with Candace.
Get Healthy Now with Candace, connecting people with plants to transform lives. If you'd like to dive into some herbal remedies to help transform your life, contact Candace. Check it out at gethealthynowwithcandace.com.
And Occupy Medical.
Occupy Medical is a free integrated health clinic in Springfield, Oregon. We are at 1717 Centennial, Suites 4 and 7. We are a 501c. 501c. We are a
501(c).
We are a 5013c organization. So if you are looking for a place to get that tax write-off, you can send us a check and we will send you a lovely tax receipt. 'Tis the season. Healthcare for all. Find us at occupy-medical.org.
And Hunter Creation. Do you need a website or a brochure or sell your business or your idea? Hunter Creation can help you out with over 20 years of experience. They know how to get you your message designed and printed and published the way that you want it. Check them out at huntercreation.com. And Sierra Lupe.
Yes, Sierra Lupe Herbal Consulting. I can help you with chronic conditions, work with your existing medication, and I can tell you this, I am LGBTQ friendly. So you can do all kinds of things, but one of the things I would advise is send me an email at sierralupeherbalconsulting@gmail.com.
Ace High Heat Graphics. Are you looking for a way to get your logo or message on a shirt? Ace High Heat Graphics has many options in ink from one color to full color. Let them quote your job today. Contact them at sales@acehighheatgraphics.com. And the Herbal Nerd Society.
The Herbal Nerd Society is a wonderful collection of teaching opportunities and listening opportunities to help bring your herbal practice to the next level.
That's right. We have a lot of articles on the website, on the Practical Herbalist website. Well over 500 of them. That's the last time I counted. It's probably closer to 600. And if you look on it now, there's 150 or so that is just exclusively for Herbal Nerd Society members. And what we do is we bring people through 1 month of learning about one herb, which ourselves, Candace and I believe that is the best way to learn things. So we have a little more rounded perspective about it, and cover energetics and biochemistry and all kinds of fun little things like that. So it's a very inexpensive way to learn about herbs, and we think it's the best.
All right. So for $49.99 for the year or $4.99 a month billed quarterly, you can become a member. So as low as 17 cents a day. So yeah, just go to practicalherbals.com and click on the Join tab at the top.
Yes. And remind people, this is the way that we support ourselves. So if you love listening to this podcast and you love looking at our website and you want to see more of that, this is the way that we support doing that work.
This is the primary way. We do get some ad revenue from other things, but this is, of all of our numbers, this is the primary way that we support the Practical Herbals and the Real Herbals Radio.
So you can say thank you and learn about herbs at the same time.
There you go. The next way that we say, or that we can get support from everybody, is through Amazon. And since this is our, 4th or 5th annual gift show, guys, and everything that we're going to talk about today is going to be available on Amazon. Mm-hmm. And as you are listening to this and getting your pumpkin pie ready in the oven, because it's going to be Thanksgiving in 2 days, you want to break out your cooking. You don't want to do it all in one day. It's just too much. So as you're thinking about that, and you're listening to this podcast, Black Friday will be 3 days later.
Mm-hmm. So, and Cyber Monday. So if you're planning to go to Amazon anyway,
that was going to be your plan anyway.
Right.
We would love for you to do it through one of our links. Remember, you don't have to buy one of the products that you hear about from us, but if you do, that's really cool. All of the products or gifts that you buy that day will help us out a little bit, and it doesn't cost you any more money.
That's right.
It's all there. So we are, because this is the thing you have to say, we are an Amazon affiliate company. We reference people from our site to their site. We get a little bit of referral fee for that. So what I like about the show is it makes makes us focus on the top 10 things we liked throughout the year, whether they were books or equipment or things that we discovered that now have that are indispensable. We can't live without.
Right.
To have them. So this is the 4th or 5th annual gift show. I don't know, but it's a gift show, and it's just in time for the holiday buying frenzy season. So without further ado, here are your hosts, Candace Hunter and Sue Lupe.
I'm Candace Hunter.
And I'm Sue Lupe. And welcome to Real Herbalism Radio.
Oh, here come the bells. You can rock that right now. I don't know that song. It's my favorite carol, but I can't ever sing it.
Oh,
The bell song.
the bell song. I like the bell song.
So it's here, the big show.
Yes.
This time where we get to whip out and say, hey, look all the cool things that we bought throughout the year that we use and have read or whatever.
Unbridled avarice.
That's right.
Yeah, the unbridled avarice episode.
Unbridled herbal
for that one.
avarice.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So we've got about, 15 products?
Good. I hope not. So the woman that does the show notes.
We really tried to keep it tight this year.
Yes.
Which
Yeah.
is really, really hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Mercy.
Yeah.
The one that I want to start off with is one that I got for Christmas last year.
Ooh.
Yeah. So that was the Chef Man 9 tray food dehydrator machine.
Oh, yes, I have envied that thing.
Mm-hmm.
The dehydrator I have is one of the round with the donut.
Yeah, it's a
painted.
Presto.
It works, but it's kind of a pain in the butt if you want to keep your
Mhm.
herbal material as big as possible.
Yeah.
Those square trays that you've got are
So
nice.
easy. So easy. So I've used a lot of food dehydrators in my day, and my mom was a big food dehydrator
Mhm.
person. In fact, my dad made a food dehydrator for her that was the size of, a 4-drawer filing cabinet.
Yeah,
This
I can
giant,
imagine.
giant thing. So I have a lot of snobbery about
Yeah.
dehydrators. And no, it's like basically just some way to warm it. And if you're fancy, it's got a fan. Well, this one, the trays are easy to clean, which is
That is a
Huge.
Number one
bonus.
thing.
That's
Yep.
major.
they're
Oh, yeah.
BPA free, which is very nice. And they're just little slide outs. And it heats evenly, and the fan is really nice, so everything dries evenly.
That is
There's a
nice.
transparent door, so you can see the whole thing
Yeah, you
through
can see
it.
what's happening.
And
yeah.
I, as a herbalist that also works in a clinic, I go through a lot of herbs. So
Yeah. And you've got temperature control on that.
temperature
too,
control
which
and
is-
time control, like how long you want it going for.
Yeah, the temperature control for me is like that's key to doing good, like flowers versus leaves versus roots. I mean, it really makes a difference being able to control your temperature.
Yep.
And what you want for herbs is different than what you want if you're like drying cherries or something.
Right.
You know,
And
it makes a big difference.
It does come with the a slot that you can put on the tray that is a very fine mesh, but I only got one of them. You had to buy extras, and I had other ones from older food dehydrator that had broken, so I just trimmed it down to fit into the tray. So really, I just pull out the tray and then take that screen and curve it like a little smile and shake it and pour it into my jar.
So much easier than trying to scrape it off or pick all the
Yeah,
little
because the
pieces
donut thing,
yeah.
you got a hole in the middle.
Yeah, so you can't. Yeah, it's a pain in the butt.
Yep. And other body parts too. So I really like that one, and it's like $100 that I can see on Amazon here. It's fairly light. It was easy to clean, and the place where I had problems was getting things in the back, and my other dryer, and this one, no, it's
Nice
the
and
whole
easy.
thing is easy to clean and wipe out.
Nice.
So, and I've had like
Nice.
come back and had like a chicken or a cat sleeping on it, and it's still, I just wipe that thing off and it's no problem.
Nice. So for the folks who are interested in taking their herbal practice into the next level by starting to do a lot more of drying their own herbs and really want to come out with good medicine,
Yep.
a dry food dehydrator like the one you're talking about would be excellent.
Yeah.
A good Christmas gift, people.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
You're looking at over 1,000 square inches of dehydrator space
Right.
when it's full.
So when
That's huge.
I had a big
That's
harvest.
way
of-
better than my donut shaped one.
Yeah, I had a big harvest of basil, and I just used every other tray because I
Nice,
didn't
because
even have
basil's
to.
fluffy.
Yeah, so it's big. So I didn't have to take every single little leaf off like it did before, right?
Yeah.
I just put the little things, the sprigs on there, and took out every other tray, and the other one.
So
The next
nice.
day, it's ready, and just slipped it off the stem. Bingo.
Yeah.
Then brought the other batch that was in the refrigerator and threw that in the same way. It was super simple.
Nice.
Super simple.
Nice.
Right, which is what you want to make it easy all the way around. It's a good one too. I think that's a really good tip.
Yeah.
That's definitely an excellent choice. I like
Yeah.
that.
I was very pleased with that. So, ho, Sue, I was very pleased. Thank you, family, for buying it for me.
Nice.
Totes. We can go with some more product, or we can go into books, or we can. What would you like?
Well, I was thinking about Sue's got a really good tool that she's been using. The tool I've been using this year a lot is beakers.
Bakers.
Beakers.
Yep.
Did you take one of mine?
Yeah,
Bitty, bitty, bitty,
I'm
bitty.
taking yours.
Oh.
You've been liking them too.
I love the beakers. I don't get to use them that often because they're not for their house.
No, they're
But
not for
I'm like-
cooking.
I told Candace, I these could be our new glasses.
They'll
No.
get broken.
I like them because they're Pyrex, so I can use them. They're proper measurements or accurate measurements, and then I can use them for heating or cooling, and it's safe. I'm not worried that
They're Pyrex?
No, these. I think the ones we
mine
got
are
you.
Pyrex.
Are
Yes.
yours? I thought. Oh, okay.
Yes, I
Good.
made sure to get the Pyrex ones
Well-
because I wanted to make sure that if I wanted to do a heated salve on my hot plate, I could do that.
There's also other ones that you'll see that use it. They're made with borosilicate, which allows the heating and cooling too. So I didn't know if it was the Pyrex might be a brand name for that.
It might be. I'm not sure. I know that it's it's tempered glass such that if I heat it, it'll be fine. If I cool it, it'll be fine.
Right.
I'm not putting it on my stove, but most of the salves and heated preparations I do stay in the 180 range.
Right. They're hot. Yep.
Yeah, they're hot.
So
but
how-
they're not?
Is
hideously
there a
hot, yeah.
couple of them? They come in a set?
It came in a set. Yeah, so I've got
It's like
the
1 cup.
1,000 milliliter, well, a liter, and then a 500, a 250, and then I think I have
It was 150.
100 and a 50.
I
Yeah,
think so,
it was
yeah.
like a set of 5.
And who
They've
makes
been
it?
really- Do you know who it was offhand?
There's the one I think was from Carter Scientific, but that was on.
Yeah,
It's on Amazon, and there's a lot of them. We'll have a link to
I'll make sure
to-
that you get the link for
Okay.
the set that
so
I
that you
bought.
can-
Yeah,
to get the ones that you want. They're indispensable when you think about it. Especially when they're designed for mostly milliliters.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
You can get some that are graduated in the ounce, but when you're doing medicine and you're doing that stuff,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
math is so much easier. It's more accurate,
Yeah. And the
Yeah.
1,000 is so easy to do an alcohol reading on it.
right?
Mm.
Like, you
Mhm.
just put that little ploop, whatever it's called,
Mhm.
hydrometer in there. It's narrow and it's easier to see it.
Yeah. Yeah, I prefer to do when I'm making tinctures or whatever medicines I'm making, I prefer to use metric
Mm-hmm.
because it's just easier.
Yep. Yeah,
and
the math
so-
is easier.
Yeah, so much easier.
So along with that, because those are really good tools for anyone that's making
The
medicine.
medicine,
Mhm.
yeah.
The other thing that would pair with that really well is a set of graduated cylinders.
Yes, and I
Uh-huh.
did actually get a set of those too,
Yes,
which
you
I
did.
particularly like.
Right. And when you do have to measure fluid very accurately
Yeah.
and you need to do the graduated cylinders are really good for that.
Mm-hmm.
And they just pair together with the beakers
Yeah.
anyway.
Right.
So it's and we're not talking $100 in glass here. We're
No, it was-
$25
Yeah.
total.
The ones
Yeah.
I have are plastic and
Yeah.
they're fine.
Yeah.
They get, well, after you've been using them for a while, because you use this, I have a scrub brush that
Yeah.
goes into them.
They
They'll
can get
wear.
Right.
And
yeah.
the glass graduated cylinders are an arm and a leg.
No,
Actually, the set
no.
that I have was not very expensive. It was
Really?
reasonable. Yeah.
Yeah.
How much?
Well, like depending on your size, I mean, a set of 3 or a set of 5, depending, can go from 10 to 11 to 18.
Really?
Yeah, they're not that expensive.
Yeah, I think
Oh.
I got both sets together at the same time for under $50, and I got a set of weights too, calibrated weights
Mhm.
as well, so I can make sure that my scale stays accurate.
Oh, right, sure.
because the scale that I currently have is a little bit older,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd rather not just replace it So I was just like, well, I'll get my weights and just check it every now and then. And so far it's staying accurate, which is great. But I've got the weights in case I need them.
Nice.
But yeah.
Yeah. So
But
the
yeah, it
beakers
was-
have the pouring lip on it.
Mhm.
Right.
And a graduated cylinder has a pouring lip too, but it's more like gloop, gloop, gloop because it's
much-
narrow.
Yeah,
It's very
much
narrow,
Tall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's really nice if you're really serious about getting your alcohol percentages right.
Yep.
And you're doing the calculating and you come up with something like, 67 milliliters of the alcohol is what you need. 67 milliliters, really?
Right.
You
Yeah,
know,
you know,
but
beakers and graduated like that.
Yeah,
You just
yeah.
do that.
yeah,
for
so yeah, that's why I usually it's a beaker and a graduated cylinder for like everything that I do.
Right.
You
Oh,
know,
you
one
know,
of each.
I think the one that we got for the lab that I worked in, it was more expensive because it had ounces on one side and mils on the other.
That could
Right.
be, yeah, mine's completely in metric.
Lab quality,
but,
yeah, okay.
And yeah, they're just like anything else. I mean, if you need lab quality, like you said, you're gonna you're gonna bump that up.
You bet.
It just depends on what you're looking for and what you.
The
what
ones
you
that I
need.
bought said they were lab quality, but I don't really know.
Right.
They work for me.
They might have been thinking of a
Well,
Labrador.
like anything.
They work well for me. They're sturdy.
Right.
They're,
For home use.
Yeah, they're sturdy. They don't, they're not, the glass is relatively thick
Mm-hmm.
and they can handle hot or cold,
Yep.
and
Well,
they,
Like
So-
anything on Amazon, there's lots of different levels now,
Yeah.
and it's almost a race to the bottom on who's going to offer you the cheapest thing out there to get you what you
Right.
want. So, know your prices, know your quality. I mean, you're going to pay for better things.
Yep.
Yeah.
Know what you're going to use. If you're using essential oils, you want glass.
yeah,
yeah,
I
absolutely.
personally, I prefer glass because it's easier to clean.
Yep.
For me, I find it easier to clean.
If you're clumsy, plastic might be for you.
Yes, that is very true.
For sure. Well, I would like to add that one thing. I know you haven't used it that much, Candace, but you were so excited to get it. And I'm just going to say, because I think it's the coolest thing I've ever seen. And I know I'm not in a lab, but Candace got a hot plate, a magnetic hot plate.
Oh, that you got to have a metal pot for it.
No, that's
Oh,
that's
you
an
can put a
invention.
beaker on
You put a
it.
beaker on
Oh,
it.
and it has weights in it.
Yeah,
and
those
those
rotate
and it
capsules,
stirs.
and it's a self-stirring
Yes.
thing.
Yep. I've
That
used
is-
those before.
That is the most magical thing I've ever seen.
Yes,
It is
pretty
really
cool.
wonderful if you want to make lotions because you can heat.
Lotions. Oh.
You can heat it and do the emulsion
Mhm.
and let the little stir just work away. Do that emulsifying, and you can walk away from it and come back like an hour later, and it's all like emulsified. And you're like, wow, that was awesome. And then you can add your essential oils after, take it off, add your essential oils, and be done. It's
Yeah.
so much
How
easier.
hot does that little plate get? I mean, you could make like hollandaise sauce on it.
I believe it goes up to like 500 degrees or something ridiculously high.
Yeah, you got to be able to
Yeah.
boil water with it for sure.
Yeah.
And the one that I got, you can do, the stirrer will handle a beaker doing up to 2 liters, which is
Wow.
twice the size that I would ever use. So,
And what's it
silly.
it called again? What's it? It's
Well,
a
the-
plate, stirring plate,
It's
right?
a magnetic mixer with stir bar, and we'll have a link to the one that Candace purchased.
yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a magnetic stir with hot plate on it, so you
Mhm.
do heating and mixing at the same time.
And I would recommend buying, most people buy with it a little extra set of the little stirrers, the little magnet pieces that you stick inside.
Mm-hmm. Right. They're
And
rolled
you can get
around.
them in different sizes. And I would recommend getting that box that has the multi sizes, because if you're doing just a little bit, you really want a small stirrer. Otherwise, it's going to be clunking.
Yeah.
It'll
So
get off, yeah.
how low does it get?
I cannot remember. It was warm. I know 180, it'll handle 180 degrees Fahrenheit. And I believe it went lower than that. And I can't remember offhand. You're asking me for statistics.
Yeah.
She doesn't.
I wasn't planning
She
for
didn't
this.
know that this was coming up, but since she took my
Yeah.
graduated and my beakers,
Oh.
I went after
Yeah.
her.
Oh. Surprise. Okay.
The-
Good idea.
The other thing it's a bigger item for the house is the Urban Worm Bag composting bin.
Yes.
Version
Version 2.
Urban worm
Bag
bag.
composting bin.
BAG.
Huh?
A bag.
Bag.
A bag.
BAG bag.
Okay. BAG bag. Composting.
Watch it all.
It's It's for worms. I got worms.
Okay. Yep. You got worms.
Got
so talk
worms.
about it, because you all took a composting workshop and you came back with the totes.
Right.
Yes,
we had the
totes.
totes and
We
we
had
made a
two of
second
them.
tote, and we did that with you actually. So we
Yeah.
made a second tote.
We have photos to prove it.
And
Yeah.
Put them up
and
sometime.
we liked it.
And the worms have multiplied.
Oh yeah, they're thriving. I have so many worms, but
Patrick's a very good worm farmer.
Nice.
Yeah,
What I-
way better than me.
what I
Darm.
don't like about the bins is harvesting the compost.
Yeah, it's
Why is
kind of-
that?
Well, because there's no place for the worms to go. Even if you put food in there, the idea, like at the classes, you put food in the corner, and all the worms will go over there.
But that's
No,
not the way it
no.
goes.
That's not
They're
the way
We
it
have
goes.
similar, so you're
nonconformist worms.
harvesting some of the
So-
worms that might be your favorite. Like, Chuck,
Yeah.
Chelsea, I'm so sorry.
Right.
Harvesting, getting those worms to go. It's like herding cats. They do their own thing. They're very independent.
So
Mhm.
Perhaps
worms
they're Western.
like to work
Wigglers.
up.
Yeah.
So the way this works is all of the compost go, because it's the heaviest, and it works down and gets to the bottom of the bag. The bag is tapered. So as it was working
Like
down,
a funnel.
like a
Yeah, kind
large
of like a funnel.
Okay.
Yeah.
And as it works the compost down, the weight compacts it. The
Mhm.
worms keep working up, so you keep adding food on top, and they keep going north,
Okay.
Mhm.
right? And
And their poop goes south.
everything else
Yep.
goes south.
Yeah.
So you open it up with a large zipper in the bottom, and then it drops out. The whole thing won't drop out; only the stuff that's ready.
Oh, so because it's compacted.
It's compacted.
So you unzip it.
At the bottom, yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, so we've been working with this for a month, and so far we have not had escapee worms,
Yeah, no
which is
escapee
nice.
worms.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been very easy to load the food in. I've
Mhm.
liked that.
Yeah.
So
Because
Chuck and
before it was
Chelsea
like,
are safe.
dig for the flag, move the flag, dig a hole, put the food in, cover the hole up, put the flag back. It was a pain in the butt.
Mm.
Especially when you're working with smelly food, because the worms prefer it as decomposed as possible when you
Sure.
put it in. And
Yeah, you have to kind of season your
Yeah.
stuff. You don't
It's-
have to, but
they like that
They like
better.
that.
Yeah.
So you kind of want to get done with the whole operation as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
so now it's just take your food waste, put it on top, mix in a little bit of that coconut
Coir.
or
Yeah.
newspaper that's
A little
shredded
bit
up
of-
or whatever.
Yeah,
you
put
know,
it just a slight small layer of dry on
a
there.
little bit or coffee
Mhm.
grounds or whatever with it, and then you just have a light layer, and you just keep building those layers up. And as it decomposes and the worms just keep moving up, as they move up, of course, they're not in the compost at the bottom.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to have a moist, favorite word, compost, but not a wet, sopping, one.
Right.
So if you have lots of leachate, which is the liquid,
Mm-hmm.
you're running it too wet.
Mm.
It's way
Yeah.
too
So
wet.
you need to add more newspaper and core.
We have
In
more
our climate, it's a challenge through the cold months and till before we get to the drought season. It's a challenge to keep it dry
Mm.
because
Right.
we live in such a damp climate.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we are planning on getting a second one because we still have another bin that we have to figure out what we're going to do with. But we got the first one to see how we liked it, and so far we like it.
Mm-hmm.
But we're looking at probably getting a second one for our second bin. And
Because you have so much kitchen compost.
part of that is
Mhm.
true, but we also have another big compost bins that we want to that are outdoors.
We have
Mhm.
discovered that our outdoor composting skills are really, really poor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've tried with y'all. So how big is this composting bag thing?
It's actually sizable. It's not like huge, but we were looking at this one from a New Zealand company, and it was like $300. But there was the size of a small garbage bin,
Yeah.
and it did the same tapering thing and
Mm-hmm.
and that. And I'm trying to see the dimensions on it, but
And this one's larger than that one.
It's I'd recommend buying, if it's your first one, buying the one with the frame. It's $100 with the frame.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the bag is 22 inches wide, 24 inches, 22 by 24 by 24. So it's what,
It's
2
like
times
2.
2, 4. It's almost 8 cubic feet
Wow.
of space.
Yeah.
Really makes me want to look at the show notes to see it.
Yeah. Show
So-
notes.
It's pretty cool. I like it. Like I say, it's zippered. It's easy to load. I like the layering. I think this is going to be better for us. We're probably going to use the compost because we have all this compost we
Yeah.
never use because I can never easily get it out.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think I'm pretty excited about this part of it. I'm hoping that because of its size and the ability to spread the food out, that the moisture will have a more control on it, and we'll get the worms up and out of where we need them to be. So
Nice.
I'm looking forward to this one.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
Herding worms.
Yep.
Cool.
and I think it'll process 2 to 4 pounds a day
Whoa.
at max
Maximum capacity
maximum,
with all the
like worms and stuff. Because a worm will eat 10%, 110% of its body weight, I think, in one day.
yeah, it's something like that.
It's like really a lot.
It's like, was it a pound of worms will do 3 pounds of kitchen scraps
Something
in a
like
day
that.
or something
Yeah.
like that?
110%.
Right. So
Yeah.
it's pretty sizable. So if you get a good healthy vermiculture thing going on, you can use quite a bit of the waste, which, let's
That's
be honest,
our
people,
plan.
that's the waste that you don't want going in the landfill.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
landfill doesn't want it.
That's
They
the
don't want
carbon
it.
footprint stuff.
Yeah, because when
Yep.
it gets in the landfill, the thing that it does is it makes methane gas.
Yep.
So you've got, and then they have to deal with it.
That's right.
If you ever have been to a landfill, what a landfill is really for is the stuff that doesn't decompose or will take so long to decompose.
Mhm.
It's designed for hard goods, not for stuff that'll decompose in compost.
That's right.
Right.
So if there's a way to get more and more out of the landfill, I'm all for it. And this is a simple way to do it. We put it in our garage. Other areas of the country, maybe they can't do that because it's too cold.
Right.
But like in Minnesota, if you have a basement, perfect place
It would
for
be,
it.
yeah, my mother
Mhm.
kept vermiculture bins in the
Yeah,
basement.
perfect place for it
Mhm.
because it's always at a static temperature. Doesn't matter if it's summer or winter; it's almost always that same temperature,
Yep.
which is really nice. So yeah, definitely a great place to put it, and it
Nice.
doesn't smell.
Yeah,
That's
in
the
our
thing, too.
family, it's part of our move toward eliminating as many plastics and stuff that would go into the trash as possible. And part of that is making sure we don't put any organic matter if we can help it into
Right.
the trash.
That's great.
So-
Good. That's very good.
So I've unloaded my recommendations
Okay.
so far. I think. So what else do you have?
I have another one.
Do you?
Oh, got
Yes.
another
This one I also got because I had I've had a series of French presses and they're all glass and Dave has broken all of them.
Oh, okay.
So
What is
he does
he
not
doing?
drink coffee.
No.
I drink coffee
So he's
Dave
managed to
doesn't drink
drink
coffee.
Mm-mm.
He's managed to drink or break all of your French presses
Without
which
ever
he
using them.
Never, yeah,
and I'm
nice.
it's just an accident.
awesome.
But the bitterness factor on my end tended to get a little big, and I think he felt bad about it. So he found one that he gave me for my birthday that's stainless steel.
That is pretty sweet.
It
That makes up
is.
for all the broken ones, doesn't
No,
it?
it doesn't. But
Oh.
it, but it,
Almost.
yeah. I found it to be very helpful for. I don't just use it for coffee. I use it for herbs.
This is stainless
Nice.
steel.
It's stainless
Huh.
steel, so it's
That's nice. You can really clean that well too.
exactly yeah.
Yeah.
So very easy. So yeah, I don't use like the resinous things that much on it, but because of the screen,
Well, a little bit of Purocaf would clean that right out. Like,
probably would.
I mean, the problems that I've had, like in our family, is I drink tea, he drinks coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that gets touched with coffee is
Smells
then
like coffee.
tastes like coffee for
Yep.
forever.
Yep.
So I have to Purocaf them. But if you Purocaf it, then the coffee smell, it's the same stuff I use on tincture bottles.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets rid of all the resinous stuff.
You get
and it
those
gets
at
the
brew
oily
shops
stuff.
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so that would be perfect for it.
Yeah.
You could totally Purocaf that.
And it's 1,000 mils. And
nice.
it's by Secura stainless steel French press coffee maker, and it's a pretty it's just very elegant looking, no frills, simple to make. With the glass gets hot. With the stainless steel, it's fine.
Yeah.
I put that out Christmas morning with the coffee in it for people to pour when they're eating their
Nice.
Christmas treats, and it's just really really simple and effective and easy to clean. And it is, I don't know how you would break it, but somebody would figure it out and run it over with a truck or something.
Don't tell Dave.
He bought it for me.
Yes, but he may try.
Wouldn't that be a day for him? And they have two sizes, a 34 ounce and the 50 ounce. So
Nice.
you can definitely choose them. But I have been very, very pleased with it. So thank you, Dave, for getting me that nice replacement. And I've used a lot of, when I have a plant that is, I just need it tinctured now. So you
Nice.
put it at the bottom of the French press, you press it down, pour it out. Nettle, for example,
Yeah.
worked really great. I did some blue vervain, a number of ones. I
Nice.
haven't done, if it's just like sticks and roots,
Yeah.
then I use the old fashioned way of doing it. But when you really need to press it, it's when it's mushy like leaves.
Yeah.
So that's when I'm using the French press.
Yeah,
And it
that's nice
fits
when
it.
you're decocting something too, because you could just pour it right in there
Yep.
and then press it.
Yep, it's
So,
fabulous. So
yeah.
I'm very pleased with it. And unbreakable. That's what we like. So we'll have that link on the website too.
Well, that'd be good for
Yeah.
camping too. I know when we've gone camping, we
Oh,
always use
yeah.
a French press, and
You've broken a
yeah,
couple
they've
of them
been
now.
broken
Sure.
because they're glass, and
And then you got
you
this
know this
plunger.
steel one's kind of cool.
Plunger. Yeah. Yeah, I recommend it. And I didn't even know it was out there, like as a stainless steel coffee maker. I was just going, well, another glass one. Here we go.
Yeah. This is much better. It will last a lot longer.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that.
All right. So do we have any other items, or should we move to our books that we love?
We got a nice stack of book titles too.
Yes, we do.
look at here. We tried to weed it down to the smallest number of books that we could reasonably
Yes.
do.
Yeah,
Do you
'cause
wanna start with
two-
that?
You two are
We're book
always
chums.
about the books. Every
We
time we do this,
are.
it's like, holy man, you guys.
I know, we love books.
We
We're
do.
bookworms.
Yes, we are.
We're verma bookitarians. I just made that up. Don't look it up on Google. It doesn't.
Vermaliterary.
Vermaliterary. Yeah, there you go. I'm gonna write that
That's
one
a-
down.
Vermaliterariat.
Yeah, you just coined a new term.
Literariat.
You're so awesome.
Nice. Okay, it's on there. All right. So the first one.
The first one that I chose was one that I got this last year. It just came out. It's by Maya Tolan. It's called The Illustrated Herbiary. And it
That can't be a word.
apparently it is.
Oh,
So,
okay.
guidance and rituals from 36 bewitching botanicals.
Aw.
And it is a beautiful book. She's, I believe,
What's her name? Namada Toll?
Maya
Maya.
Toll. Maia Toll. And the illustrations are by Kate O'Hara.
And they're
And they're
beautiful.
gorgeous. They're just
Deep, rich colors.
honestly, initially I bought it just because I wanted to be able to sit and look at some of the pictures because they're so wonderful. I mean,
Mhm. Yeah, they really jump out at you.
and they include a lot of symbolic references,
There you go.
which is I like that because it helps you tap into the spiritual or the energetic side
Mhm.
of the herb. So as you're working with them on not just a physical level, but also looking at the spiritual, emotional, psychological, magical elements for them, I liked a lot of the symbology symbols
Yeah.
that they were using.
Yeah. And they have rituals in here, reflections. Reflection. Can you say no? I don't know if I can. I certainly can't say no to this book.
I didn't. I didn't say no to this book. So it comes with a set of oracle cards. I don't use them like for a lot of readings, but I have been picking them. You know, I've got something on my mind that I need to work with. One of the things that I've done after I do my tarot reading, I'll pick, and then I do my tarot reading, and then I do my Lenormand reading, and then I'll pick a plant guide, as it were. So I've been using it that way. So I'm just doing
Aw.
simple single card readings with it, but using the
Valerian has
energies.
a kitty.
Yes, it's very cute. So I've been loving it. It's been fun.
That's nice. And it's like a gift size too.
Yes.
You know,
yeah.
if somebody got this, if you had herbalists that were just, they like the energetic and traditional and oracle stuff, this would be a great thing. So
Yeah.
and it's a pretty good price, just $20. That's
Yeah.
very cool.
Yes.
Nice.
So good
well
job,
done,
Maya.
Maya. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Now what? Mine? Okay.
Yep. Let's go
All
with
right.
this one, which
This
is my
one-
next. I've got to get this one myself.
Scott Cluse, he wrote this book that I requested for Christmas last year and have been endeavoring to read it through without destroying it like I do other books. Pacific Northwest Medicinal Plants. Identify, harvest, and use 120 wild herbs for health and wellness. And he's, for us, a local fella. The pictures are lovely and makes identifying it fairly easy. I think that the way that he describes the identity of these items are easy for me to understand. And because he uses the botanical terms, but he also uses things like lance shaped to nearly round when describing stuff instead of some of the, so he mixes it around. So I think he does a really great job of integrating for professionals that have taken a lot of botany and for people that are just new to it so they don't feel intimidated. And where to wildcraft, and he's got cautions and when to wildcraft it, and then how to use it, like herbal preparations. He's got a little tiny thing on there, which being an herbalist as long as I have, of course I'm like, are you kidding? A tea, that's all you got. I know so many, this would be great in an oil or in a liniment or blah, 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 blah. But that's not this kind of book. This is mostly identification and harvesting kind of stuff. And some of these herbs, I've seen them and I did not think of them. I know every plant has a use if you wrap your brain around it, but some of them was like, oh yeah, I guess that would be medicinal in this way. So I'm learning.
One of the things I appreciate about it is that it's got a lot of the stuff that's common in our area and we call weeds, like the, what is that, smelly Robert? Geranium. Stinking Bob, which is that's a geranium.
Yeah, and it's everywhere.
Yeah, and it's all over the place. I've got it growing all over the place in my own yard, and I've been looking at it, thinking, "Oh, there's probably something that this could be helpful with." And in fact, I've recently been using a different geranium for upper respiratory infections. Oh. And in looking at his description of the geranium here, the Stinking Bob, I can see clearly that I think I could substitute. I'm going to probably give it a try. I could substitute it out because the one that I'm using comes from South Africa, and you probably could grow it here, but we might have to do it in plants or in pots and that sort of thing. Whereas this is growing in my yard. So
you're almost. The thing I don't like about this book is that it's the names are all by their common names and whatever common name he decided to assign it.
Yeah, like Stinking Bob.
Right.
right. Yeah. Which
is
funny.
Is there a cross reference in the back?
There is, but the common names will vary.
Well, I understand that, but I mean, for someone like me, I like the common names.
Right.
Now, I think that there's no reason why they shouldn't have the common name and the genus species name
they do.
on the page.
Yeah,
they do.
And
the index does include the scientific names.
Because I'm thinking about this, where is some of the common names that he uses are not the common names I use.
Right.
So
But then the others, the Latin names.
So I have to go to the back of the book.
Okay, so that's my point.
But I don't know if it's in there by swipping through it.
So I haven't looked at this book, so I don't.
That's my only complaint.
He's having to pry this book out of my hands because I keep looking at it. So
my only complaint about it is the use part, but I have plenty of other books for that. I don't expect a book to be everything.
So they did but
there's some. But
it's
not very much.
I like what they did here. They had the Latin name first, and then the common name second.
Because you could go on and on.
Yeah, because Cascara Sagrada, the Frangula Persiana.
Yeah.
And it's called Cascara buckthorn or chittenbark.
Mm-hmm. So, but you got to go to the C's.
I know, Sue. It's
tough.
People you have to think in the audience are crying right now, thinking of the suffering that I am going through. It's okay, guys. I'm okay with it.
They're laughing at you because
they're not.
No, we all use the common names like normal people. I'm just kidding.
Oh, it's on. It's on. Okay.
I think we had a book last year that we were frustrated because they separated those two, and it made it a real difficulty in finding the information.
It was a mushroom one.
Yeah.
It was only by scientific.
Right. And I couldn't. I was like, this is a great book, but they did have the common name, but it was like
you had to go dig through
an
it.
index. Yeah. This is a pain in the ass.
Right.
Yeah. And then with mushrooms, most people around here don't talk about the mushrooms by scientific name. They use common names for them. So,
and I understand why they did that was because the huge chunk of mushrooms don't have common names.
Right. Well, and it's important in mushrooms to know the scientific name.
But they didn't even put it in there.
But as a designer, I would have made space for that.
Oh, definitely. Yep. So anyway,
I've got 2 books. I've got 2 books with me here that are both I've haven't read them to cover yet, partly
Mhm.
because they are on my December reading enjoyment and fun list.
Okay, so that's your excuse. Great.
So the first one of them is my book for just pure delight.
Uh-huh.
You're gonna laugh.
But I
when you
get
hear
this
it.
book after she's done with it.
This one
saying
is
that
called
right now.
It's called Southern Folk Medicine, and it's by an herbalist named Phyllis D. Light.
Mhm.
I met her once at a conference. She was absolutely wonderful.
Was she
a joy.
delightful?
She was.
Good.
She
Perfect.
was, and I asked her. I gave her my card and said, "Oh, would I love check out the show? Would love to talk with you."
Yeah.
She hasn't called me back. So if anyone knows Phyllis and wants to tell her to get in touch with us, I'd love to do an interview with her.
Yes.
She's
Nag
wonderful.
for us. Talk to Phyllis Light and say, please, please, please.
Yeah, and the other thing about it was that a lot of herbalists choose names rather than are given names that sound planty, right? So Phyllis's name is Phyllis D. Light.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, when I met her, I was like, oh, she probably chose that name. Most of us do choose our names.
D is her middle
D is her middle initial. It turns out Light really is her last name that she was born with.
Mm-hmm. So
I'm like, wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So I always am delighted
Nice.
when I find out that that happened to be the way they were born.
Yeah.
I mean, most of us aren't born into a plant name family or into a cool name family like that. We usually have last names like Peterson or Smith or, Hunter.
Yeah. Sierra frickin' Lupe.
Yeah.
All right. So what did you like about it from what you have seen so far? It's not an illustrated book.
No.
So you got to read it. If you don't know how to read, this would not be your book.
It is a total pleasure read as well as educational, but it's a total pleasure read because she has a lyrical, wonderful storytelling aspect to the way she talks about herbs.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've only scratched the surface of it. And honestly, this is my curl up by the fire with a nice cup of tea and spend a few hours just reading and losing myself in the world of plants.
Great. Sounds like a cat in the lap kind of book.
Yes.
Yeah.
And absolutely. And I think I'm going to be learning a lot about how Southern approach is to things like the 4 elements and the signs and all of that stuff. I'm excited. I'm really excited for this book.
Nice. It still has that new book smell.
It does. It does. I picked it up in the summer, started reading it, and realized it was definitely something that I needed to give my full attention to and not set aside. So it's like, Thanksgiving weekend.
Right. Right.
Possibly Christmas week.
Now she's Appalachian, isn't she?
She is.
Okay.
She is.
Right.
Yes.
Wow, very cool. Yeah, I definitely am going to be borrowing that after you're done.
I know. It's going to be fun.
Let me just wipe the slobber off the side. Okay, I'm fine. I'll be okay.
And then the second one that I have is also one that I have not read thoroughly yet, and I'm looking forward to it. It is my book for inspiration going into January and moving toward the beginning of gardening season.
And I have heard people mention this book many times.
It is a good reference.
It's well written.
The name of the book is The Organic Medicinal Herb Farmer by Jeff Carpenter and Melanie Carpenter. And this is another one that if you happen to know the Carpenters and you want to push them a little bit to get on our show so we can talk with them about herb farming, that would be really cool.
Okay.
Feel free to do that, folks.
Every reference comes with a nag.
Yes. These two happen to come with a bit of a nag, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I've looked at this book for some specific herbs and specific questions I've had about growing conditions. And I am not an herb farmer. I grow some herbs for my practice.
Mm-hmm.
So small, very tiny, micro scale
Mm-hmm.
compared to what they're talking about. But what I'm finding in here when I'm looking up information is wonderful references that are detailed and incredibly helpful for me in my little city lot.
Practical. They've got their hands in the dirt, literally, and they're able to translate that to paper.
Yes.
Nice.
So they're very clear about things like exactly what kind of watering conditions, exactly what kind of sun conditions, what soil conditions, in a way that is very easy to translate to my little city lot.
Right.
I
Wow.
appreciate that. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, that sounds great. And the illustration, or not illustrations, they have graphs, but the pictures are beautiful. Well done. I just went by a picture of Rosemary Gladstar in there because that's part of their family.
Yep.
There we go.
Yeah.
Rosemary's in the family.
Yay.
So yeah, they've got herbs in the family.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really wonderful to have that little practical edge to it. Yeah, that sounds like a great, really fun book we have a couple of things for gardeners, a couple of things for you kitchen herbalists, for people that like the traditional folk medicine kind of background, and then people that love to play with beakers and cylinders, lab rats.
I've been thinking about, just digging into the medicine making. I mean, whether you're doing it for a clinic or whether you're doing it for home, having the right tools makes a big difference.
It really does. Yeah, it can turn something that you think, oh, this is kind of fun and also extremely frustrating into just a delightful experience.
Yes.
I mean, it's worth it. There's going to be work.
Yeah.
But you don't have to make it so hard.
No, and when you've got the good tools, the right tools for the job, you end up with better medicine at the end.
You do. Yep. And if you're sick, you need good medicine.
Mm-hmm.
I have cruddy medicine. You're already feeling like crud. Yep.
All right. So with that, enjoy the holidays and
put an herb on it.
The statements made about herbs and products on this podcast have not been evaluated by the United States Food and Drug Administration, FDA, and are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent disease. All information provided on this podcast or any affiliated websites is for informational purposes only and is not intended as a substitute for advice from your physician or other healthcare professional. You should not use the information on this podcast and its affiliated websites for a diagnosis or treatment of any health problem. Always consult with a healthcare professional before starting any new vitamins, supplements, diet, or exercise program before taking any medication, or if you have or suspect you might have a health problem. Any testimonials, questions, or case studies are based on individual results and do not constitute a guarantee that you will achieve the same results.